Hey there guys, and welcome back to Nerdy Treasures. Today we are taking a look at the Bandai Tamashii Nations S.H.Figuarts Jin Kazama from Tekken 8. Stay tuned. So, full disclosure, I haven't actually played Tekken 8, but I've played enough of the Tekken games to know that I want a badass Jin Kazama in my collection. I actually skipped him from I think it was the Game Dimensions line. I did pick up the Heihachi from that line, but I skipped the Jin because I just didn't really like how the Jin looked. He didn't have like a top on or anything in that design. And I never like it when you have articulation in skin and that, it just looks weird and sort of gross. And I also skipped the Storm collectibles just because the scale of those, as I understand it, is pretty huge compared to other 6-inch figures. So when I saw Figuarts were coming out with their own version of Jin, I was very excited, and I quite like the design of the outfit for him in that game. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. Starting with accessories, then we get a couple of backdrops made from cardboard. We get a set of splayed out hands, some relaxed hands, and some sort of, I don't know, kung fu fighting hands. And we obviously get the two closed fists that come on the figure. And then we get 3 heads with this, which I didn't realise. I thought it was just the 2. So we've got his neutral expression, which comes on the figure. We've got this angry, I'm about to turn into the devil face, and then we've got this one which is again a neutral, but his eyes are just sort of off to the side. So these backdrop pieces, I mean, they look okay. I'm never really a big fan of these. I feel like they take away from the thing, they make it look a little bit more cheap, but they look nice enough if this is your thing. I'm assuming this is one of the levels from Tekken 8, so it'd probably make for some nice figure photography if that's your jam, but for me these will stay in the box. Taking a look at Jin himself, and it looks great. I'm really pleased with this. Starting off with the head sculpt, this is bang on Jin. Not really much more I can say. Hair detail looks nice. No sort of paint detail on the head that I can really see, but he's got pretty dark hair. Anyway, the strands on the front look really good. Sometimes when you have like strands of hair that are coming down on figures, they look a bit odd, but I think where this is obviously sort of animated video game, they are kind of blocky anyway, so it actually looks really cool. We've got a hood hanging down on the back. It would have been nice if maybe this was a swap out part that you could replace with a hood. I don't know if he wears a hood in the game, but that would have been pretty cool if you could swap out this hanging down hood with a hooded head sculpt, maybe instead of that one where the eyes are a little bit shifty. I love the design of this jacket, sort of a nod to that Devil Jin sort of wings on the back. This jacket is glued onto this, in fact no, it's not even glued, it's just part of this sort of t-shirt section that on top of the ab crunch there. Awesome looking gloves. I've always loved the design of these gloves. I think they look really cool, and the red just sort of pops with nice little bits of metallic silver there. Got this strap coming down around the leg. Nice detail on the shoes. Some nice painted belt buckles there, which look really cool. And taking a look at articulation, the head looks very far down, looks a little bit up. It's got a double joint on the neck and on the head as well, so nice range on there, but you want to make sure that the neck is facing forward because it has some, I don't know what this bit's called, but some nice detail on there. We do have a butterfly joint on the shoulders, but it's not, you don't get a huge amount from it. That's mostly the shoulder moving, but enough just to bring that arm around. Arm bends that much, full rotation, ball joint on the wrists, and a slight rotation on the forearms as well, just hidden by that glove, which is nice. Decent ab crunch, can bend down quite far and bend back fairly far. The legs do pull down at the waist, so you can get quite a lot of range forward and back. Knee bends all the way so he can kick his own butt. The ankle joint moves the foot forward pretty far and back pretty far. Nice little bit of ankle pivot, and we've got some toe articulation, a lot of toe articulation. Also, while fiddling around with it, this little strap popped out on here, if you can see that, and that's actually got like a tiny ball joint on that socket, so that pops back in and you can have that flowing out or in, or however you want it, to make the pose a little bit more dynamic, which is fun. Quick comparison then, here he is standing next to the Bandai Game Dimensions Heihachi. Scales pretty well. I think the difference in quality is pretty obvious, but in my mind's eye, Heihachi should be a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. Here he is standing next to another video game character, the Solid Snake from Figma. And Figmas tend to scale pretty accurately to what 1/12 should be. So it's potentially a little on the smaller side, particularly when you look at the feet. But once you have them posed, I think they fit in quite nicely together. Pretty much what you'd expect from Figuarts at this point. Nice sharp paintwork, great details, articulation, as always. It's good in that you can just get it in pretty much every pose you'd want to. You know, within reason. This is still plastic on plastic, so you're never going to get the full range that a actual human being will get. But just in playing around with this guy, he poses so naturally. Like, I can just move an arm, move a leg, and it looks decent. So I've been having a lot of fun just sort of playing around with this guy on my desk. So yeah, this guy does have me tempted to go a little bit further, maybe pick up the Kazuya. And I also know I think King and Nina are currently on pre-order. So we'll see. Might pick up a King. Remains to be seen if they will continue beyond those four. I know Figuarts have a tendency to start a line and then kind of taper off a little bit. I'd love to see a Yoshimitsu. That would be an instant purchase for me. And even though they would never do it, my main character was always Kunimitsu. So if they did a Kunimitsu, which they will never do, and no company will probably ever do, I would snatch that up so fast. But yeah, that is a wrap. Hope you enjoyed taking a look at Jin. Did you guys pick this up? Have you picked up the Kazuya? Let me know if you recommend him, as I'm sort of on the fence at this point whether to go all in or just stick with like one representation. As always, thank you to all of you out there commenting, liking and subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss anything else. Keep the comments coming, love to hear from you. Oh, and I'm also on Instagram now, so go over, give me a follow at nerdy_treasures for some more nerdy treasure goodness. But that's all for now. Catch you next time.